Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between AmiTa and Argos here on Lost Temple. Here we have Argos Zenith spawning as the purple Zerg player at the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, AmiTa spawning as the sky blue or light teal Protoss player over here at the 8 o'clock position. So it should be an interesting matchup. No Terran in sight, as many of you guys are asking for a Terran-less replays. So here we go, another Zerg versus Protoss matchup. Just remember that 30 or 50% of the games that I cast statistically should have at least one Terran player, as that is the most common matchup, or not the most common matchup. If you do a little decision tree and a little breakdown, that is how it works. Back over here, we now see the Overlord of Argos Zenith will quickly find that Nexus and now pulling it back. So Argos Zenith quickly knowing where AmiTa is, but pulled back with that Overlord just in time. I believe he's now going to go ahead and scout out with this drone, trying to feint the fact that he does in fact know where he is. But now out comes this probe, and that probe able to get sight of that Overlord anyways. So nicely done by AmiTa, no real faking back over here. Now out comes this probe. Probe will come over here in order to get some additional sight. Argos Zenith, will he go for a 14 spawning pool or try to go for a hatchery? And it looks like as though he's gonna go for that hatchery. Hatchery will be completed as he gets 300 minerals just in time, right when it gets there. So the timing on that, absolutely beautiful. As an Overlord quickly gonna make its way into this position right here to get sight onto that front door. We do have a drone who has minerals of his own, and now in come those probes. So probes are trying to get some splash or get some damage, and all those probes coming off the mineral line only dealing 4 damage or 5 damage onto that drone, and that drone has already healed 3 of that 5 damage back. So that drone nearly full on hit points. However, another probe coming in with that particle beam, it wants to zap that drone. That drone could use its claws to fight back, so beautifully done so far. Argos Zenith, oh, now that in comes that cybernetics core, so there's a very small opening here as another pylon going to be placed right here. That pylon, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't try to double lap over onto this gateway. As soon as this pylon gets taken down, we'll lose production to that building over here. Back over here, we do have the probe continuing to scout out against Argos. Now that drone continuing the chase against that probe back over there and working out even further. We do have another an extractor now being built by Argos Zenith, the first extractor, while we have double assimilators by AmiTa. Now AmiTa now throwing in 6 probes onto that, so we may see some sort of Stargate play, as that's the only real strategy that I can think of that really needs that much gas early on. So AmiTa may be trying to go for some Phoenixes. Now in come these drones, with Argos Zenith now catching sight of all of these extractors, of all of these assimilars. He may try to produce and train up more queens, or he will definitely need more queens, as 4 Phoenixes will be able to come into the base very quickly. And even if they graviton 1 queen, the second queen will be able to still fight back and deal some sort of damage here. Finally, we do have another gateway coming in, so we may just be going AmiTa trying to go for a lot of sentries. So a lot of sentries and stalkers, and that's the reason why he wanted the additional assimilator, as that sentry now going after that one drone. That drone taking a couple more hits, now able to finally pull away. There is one zealot locking off this drone onto this high ground, and in comes the sentry. Sentry able to deal 6 damage per second. But now that drone down at 1 hit point, still trying to run for its life. And will that drone sentry be able to catch up that drone over here, currently sitting at 200 or at 5 hit points? And there comes another sentry, and zap, there it goes. So double sentries quickly coming in, and now AmiTa is in fact getting that Stargate that I was talking about earlier. So opening up into that Stargate play. Argos Zenith, however, now training up 1 more queen, and with 1 queen over here. So Argos is going to have a little bit of a difficulty trying to fight back against any Phoenixes or any sort of Void Ray play, as fully charged Void Rays can deal so much damage early on in the game. We should probably see some more pylons. There we go, pylons coming in from AmiTa, and perhaps even a second Stargate if he's really wanting to try to commit into this whole entire opening here. We do have 1 Zergling around, and now Argos Zenith with this Overlord in the air on this high ground, able to catch sight, continuing to mine up further. We still the Stargate nearing completion, 60 units of time to build. There it is, has been completed, as now Argos spawn larva has just finished, and now 2 extractors coming into play. Back over here, it looks as though AmiTa dropping down a pylon over here, and not quite sure what those sentries are doing out over here, and really no reason to have sentries over there, as they may get picked off by Mutalisk or any other sort of play. And now in comes this Overlord. Overlord will see these 2 sentries, but I'm still kind of curious as to what the real army is. Argos Zenith going to lose this Overlord, though. Pretty needless, just needlessly trying to sacrifice and barrel through with this Overlord, and will he be able to see that Void Ray being trained up? And no, he did not see the Stargate with that Void Ray, and that may be a problem. A second Void Ray should be used in or created in just a second. No, gonna waste that Chrono Boost instead. So AmiTa not keeping up on his production, losing a crucial 10 units of time, or that was almost a full charge of Chrono Boost. Back over here, we are now at tier 2, and production-wise, I do not see anything that is anti-air besides these queens. There needs to be more queens if, in fact, AmiTa tries to go for more and more Void Rays. Out comes this Void Ray. Void Ray now charging itself against an Overlord, and that is not something you want to see, as a fully charged Void Ray will be able to just take or deal so much damage here, and down goes the Spire. The Spire has to be canceled. There we go. Now moving away with that drone, quickly getting taken down, and now another Void Ray going to take down another Overlord. So Overlord now getting shot down, and Argos Zenith is currently supply locked. And with that one Void Ray trying to pull back now, these two queens able to push back this Void Ray. Void Ray able to get off a lot of damage, though. This Void Ray may try to even go for that center of the map. No, does not see that Overlord there. Could have easily taken down that Overlord. As a second Void Ray now being trained, we do have one Overseer moving around the map, and a couple sentries and zealots on that low ground, and a Forge with another gateway. So what's going to be happening? Is he going to drop a Changeling and then have that Zealot slowly walk into position? Back over here, we just have that second Void Ray finally joining the party. And now with double Void Rays, is it going to be enough to deal that damage? Back over here, are they going to try to do any sort of pre-charge? It does not look like it will be able to, as these Void Rays now moving out once again. Level 1 weapons upgrade for the Protoss Air, and now England coming in, trying to charge up on this Extractor. If it gets up to 3 attack, that's going to be very, very bad news indeed. Now fully charged, but in comes some Hydralisks, and those Hydralisks moving and attacking did not get underneath the Void Ray. These Hydralisks could have easily taken out this Void Ray, but for some reason, Argos did not want to commit, and that is a big surprise there, as one Overseer down to 105, 101 hit points. The movement speed on the Overseer 2.75 versus 2.25 on that Void Ray. If we saw a Fleet Beacon, Void Rays can continually chase units like that Overseer and shoot him down and get fully charged. So very nicely done. Argos, however, still in position, as there are a lot of Hydralisks down over here to try to protect this expansion. Back over here, now we see two Void Rays quickly taking down that Overlord here, and we may see the Void Rays try to take down these destructible rocks as well and take an additional expansion. Production-wise, we see AmiTa sitting at 42 Harvesters compared to 53, but AmiTa with that Chrono Boost should be able to get back into this game very, very quickly. Overseer now inside the base. I don't see any Contaminate being used or any Changeling. So what Void Rays now quickly coming in. Overseer very low on hit points, and while this Overseer will get taken down, 3 Changelings quickly getting spotted down, and yeah, down they go, and 3 Changelings getting dropped off, but really able to get some more sight on this Forge and this robotics facility over here. We do have 2 Spine Crawlers and a Nydus Worm. So a Nydus Worm spawning in the middle of the map. I cannot hear the Nydus Worm because I'm not wearing my headphones. There's a little bit of an echo when I talk, so that's the reason why I do not hear Nydus Worms popping out. And now in come these Hydralisks. Hydralisks have a range of 6, so they will be able to fire at these pylons as this cannon is in the back position. Also, he will be able to drop some creep tumors in. Stalker's now trying to fight back, but this is a really, really dangerous position. One Photon Cannon here. Photon Cannon will be able to take down that last Hydralisk, and now the Hydralisks continue to push in. There are a good amount of Void Rays, and now these Hydralisks once again pulling to the back as another Nydus Worm popping in over here. I love Argos' Zenith's Nydus Worm play as this robotics play, and Hydralisk now just coming into this position, starting to shoot down some of these units. A lot of Hydralisks in here, just constantly fighting back and forth. Now going after this Nexus instead. Nexus already down to 300 hit points, will get taken down. However, there has been a lot of force fields. Are you going to be able to take down this robotics bay? That is the quick question here. Trying to take it down, already down to 100 hit points. Now finally able to get it taken down and able to retreat, trying to retreat. No, will he be able to? Oh, force field just barely missing as that Nydus Worm able to come back in, but ever fighting back over here. So just playing whack-a-mole with these Nydus Worms, constantly spawning into a new location, and now trying to take down this robotics facility. Robotics facility with that Colossus will be canceled, and now Hydralisk in a decent position to able to fight down these units here. Void Rays trying to come back in and join in on this fight. Hydralisk will be able to take this down very quickly, as Void Rays have very little armor. continuing the fight. More Hydralisks coming back in army-wise. You see the army of Argos Zenith sitting at 925, and another Nydus Worm now popping in over here as these units all retreat, and they're going to pop out once again. So Argos Zenith just causing a nightmare for AmiTa. Hydralisk once again going to go ahead and re-engage here. Stalkers trying to pull back. We do have a Guardian Shield quickly being used. Hydralisk deciding to come out here and then joining the fight here as Zerglings are now going to be able to try to do some sort of swarm. No, Hydralisk not popping out of there. We do have, no, never mind. Currently now popping out once again. Going to leave the pylon over here. I do not think there's an Overlord anymore. Yeah, no longer has an Overlord here. But these Hydralisks and these Zerglings will be able to deal so much damage. The mobility of Argos Zenith simply too much to deal with at this stage in the game. As these Stalkers now trying to give chase to these units. Will it be able to get in time? No, not in time, as that Nydus Worm quickly getting destroyed once again. There is the Zergling over here at the Zelnaga Watchtower, and that's the reason why he can continue to give sight and throw down these Nydus Worms. Argos Zenith also took this time to spawn Creep Tumors, so Creep Tumors are now being pushed out across the map. Argos Zenith going to have permanent sight all across anywhere where there is creep. Another hatchery down over here. So Argos Zenith now going to run off of 3 hatchery play. Has not taken down these rocks yet. Now is a good time to do it, as he will need that additional expansion in just a moment. Both sides agreeing to the same strategy, as AmiTa also taking that side as well. Another Nexus being warped in over here. AmiTa now seriously hurting, economically speaking, 820 versus Argos Zenith's 1420. So that is a very, very large discrepancy difference. However, AmiTa has the larger army, and will he be able to capitalize on this? Zerglings and Hydralisks over here. No Overseer to really shoot down that one Observer. And now Zerglings trying to get in position. However, Force Fields coming in, and those Guardian Shields really adding 2 armor to those to these Stalkers from that Hydralisk damage. And now Argos Zenith having a difficult time continuing the fight back here. More Zerglings trying to get behind. Production wise, we do see more Hydralisks, level 1 missile attack and level 1 carapace upgrades. AmiTa not getting any additional upgrades. So as these Hydralisks get more and more upgrade, they should be able to deal better and better damage. However, it is 500. We are seeing a 300 middle army versus a 1425, as more units are getting taken down. Zerglings trying to engage as well. And now Spine Crawlers moving. Why are these Spine Crawlers moving? They're going to get destroyed before they are even ready. But Hydralisk now coming in as well. Stalkers getting choked up, trying to take down that last unit. Another Force Field here. One more right here. Would push back another group of Hydralisks. Hydralisks now trying to pull back as well. Nydus Worm and a lot of Overlords. Hydralisks then fairly well protected. And now those Hydralisks may be able to pick off a couple more units there. Able to take off 2 Zealots in transition. So beautifully done. Back over here, we still see this Overlord flying around. Perhaps going to try to drop some sort of insert a Nydus Worm somewhere. As AmiTa currently running off of 4 warp gates, 1 Stargate, and no robotics. Oh, no robotics facility, an additional Stargate over there. So this one Zealot was able to take down that Nydus Worm as it was trying to be spawned. And now Argos Zenith may be trying to do some other strategies as well. A drone getting ready to grow up and be a hatchery in just a moment. As Argos Zenith moving out, we do have another hatchery over here. Not really worth anything. A Queen could probably afford that 150 or 50 energy to try to heal this one Hydralisk over here, but a lot of micro on both sides. We do have Stalkers and Zealots, and now continuing to warp in more and more units. So AmiTa getting a stronger and stronger army. Both sides about even now, but still no expansion over here at this high yield mineral location. Still this one Observer here, but I do not know why Argos Zenith does not have an Observer Overseer with his army. Overseer with his army would definitely nullify these Observers here, as once again we have an Overlord faking an Overlord drop into the base of AmiTa now trying to use all of these units over here, and now those Overlords trying to pull away, perhaps going to try to do some sort of drop into this position, and now pulling back, hiding into that brush. But now in come these Hydralisks and these Roaches. So look, faking a drop for positioning, and beautifully done so far. I'm going to take this time and pause this replay and say stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Argos and AmiTa. I'm not quite sure how long this replay is, so hopefully the part 2 will still be interesting. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.